In the heat of war, where every second could be the last, two Israeli soldiers, Mordechai and Nitzan, faced death head on. Their survival against all odds speaks to the fragility of life, the strength of faith, and perhaps a guiding hand beyond what we can see. These are their stories of resilience, hope, and divine protection. Mordechai, a 34-year-old soldier raised in the rugged beauty of the Golan Heights, always felt a deep connection to the land. From childhood, he knew the fields, the trees, and the open sky of the Golan like the back of his hand. As he worked on his tank that day in Gaza, thinking about the life he cherished and the family waiting for him, he had no idea that he was about to face an encounter that would alter his perspective forever. The RPG blast came without warning, sending him flying through the air. In those heart-stopping seconds, as the world slowed down, he felt the wind rush by and saw the sky above him. An unusual calm filled him, and he found himself whispering, "Thank you, God." He knew in that instant he was alive. Later, as he lay in the hospital, the doctors explained the miracle. They told him that had the RPG landed just an inch to the left or right, it would have been fatal. Mordechai's survival was no accident. He felt certain that it was divine intervention. Mordechai said the following: "Only God could guide something so precise in the middle of a war. I knew He was with me, even in that moment. I felt like I'd been given a new chance, a chance that so many others might not have gotten." As Mordechai looked into the faces of his loved ones, he realized the impact of his survival. Each embrace, each tear, reminded him that his life held meaning not just for himself, but for others as well. He found a renewed purpose, a mission to live with gratitude and strength, honoring the gift he'd been given. Nitzan, 29, grew up in the religious kibbutz called Sde Eliyahu, a place where faith was woven into every part of his life. He had always felt called to serve, inspired by the older boys who joined elite units and the sacrifices they made. For Nitzan, protecting the land he loved was an honor, but it was also a risk he never took lightly. Then came the ambush in Gaza. He remembers the sudden cry of "RPG!" and the blast that followed. The world became a blur of smoke and debris, and as he drifted in and out of consciousness, he clung to a single thought: "God, let me live." Afterwards, as he recovered, Nitzan reflected on what had happened. He would tell others, "God gave me an extra 30 centimeters of life." To him, those precious centimeters weren't just luck. They were a reminder of how fragile life is and how easily it can be taken away. He knew his survival was no accident. It was a second chance, a miracle in its own right. Nitzan felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. He knew that every breath, every heartbeat, was a gift. Now he had a renewed sense of responsibility, not just for himself, but for his family, his community, and his faith. He vowed to make the most of the second chance, honoring it by living a life filled with purpose and meaning. It wasn't just the soldiers and the families who were affected by these near-miraculous survivals. Across Israel and around the world, Jewish communities were praying not only for Mordechai and Itan, but for every soldier. In synagogues, homes, and schools, people offered prayers for their protection and for their full recovery. They joined in asking God to watch over the brave men and women on the front lines. The prayers didn't stop there. People of all faiths lifted up their voices, transcending borders, cultures, and beliefs, to stand in solidarity with Israel and her people. Each prayer held a hope for peace, a wish for safety, and a deep respect for the lives of those who serve. These prayers carried a powerful message, a message that reached the soldiers on the front lines, reminding them that they were not alone. This unity, this outpouring of love and faith, strengthened their spirits, giving them hope and courage in the face of danger. For both Mordechai and Itan, their journeys didn't end with their survival. They returned to their homes with a renewed appreciation for the people and the places they loved. Mordechai often wandered the open fields of the Golan, marveling at the small miracles of nature. Itan, back in the kibbutz, found himself greeted by neighbors and friends, each handshake, each embrace, a reminder of how precious his life was. They became storytellers, sharing their experiences with friends and family, hoping to inspire others to see the beauty in every moment. Their survival was a gift they carried not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. Mordechai and Itan's stories remind us that life itself is a precious gift. They were granted a second chance, and they've dedicated themselves to honoring it, carrying with them a powerful message that even in the darkest of times, there is hope. There is a guiding hand, and there is something greater that watches over all of us. What would you do if you were granted an extra chance at life? Is it fate, divine protection, or something else that guides us in those critical moments? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if these stories of resilience and faith touched your heart, please consider subscribing, share your reflections, and consider supporting us by clicking the thanks button below this video. Together, we can continue to share these powerful stories of hope, courage, and divine protection. Thank you very much for your prayers and support for the land of Israel. May God bless you all. Have a wonderful day.